questions like these don't always have a black and white answer. There are a lot of factors to consider, a lot of personal factors to consider, and ultimately the most important question to consider is, what is it that you're trying to achieve? So one of the things that I'd like all of you to think about today, as you go around to the different tables and you talk to the different universities, one of the things that I'd really like you to focus on is ask yourself a question, where do I see myself 10 years from now? Right? If I got my dream job, what would that be? Because too many students that I've seen ask about a particular program, but if I ask them about their career, they'll say a different kind of a career and a different kind of program that they want to study, right? So if you're heading in this direction, but you want to end up in that direction, right, then you're going the wrong way. So it's better to think, where do I want to end up? Now I know which direction I should head. So coming to this point about whether you should do an undergraduate degree or a postgraduate degree, that depends on a few different factors. It depends on what kind of a career you're interested in having. It depends on what industry you want to work in. It depends on your budget. It depends on your personal life experience. It depends on your level of English speaking and writing. It depends on so many factors like these. So I'll give you a couple of examples just to try and put things into perspective. In Australia, okay, I mean, I'm from Australia. I'm a local Brisbaneite from the city of Brisbane, so I can speak from experience from that city. But in Australia generally, most students will do a bachelor's degree and then they'll move straight into the workforce. So you have fewer Australian students doing a postgraduate degree in general. In India, because of the huge demand, as Sweeney mentioned before, there's such a huge demand for education in India. And from a simple economic perspective, if you look at supply and demand, the supply simply does not meet the demand. Because of that, you have a huge competition to get into a university place in a good university in India. Therefore, employers can easily, when they're looking for candidates for a job, they can easily look at, okay, well, this person has a bachelor's degree, this person has a master's degree. Which one should I pick? I can pay them both the same amount of money, right? I can pay them both the same wages. Most of the time, it's just an easy choice. So what that does is that forms a requirement that everybody has to have a master's degree. And so now most of you, it's already inbuilt into your head that I have to have a master's degree. However, if you're looking for an international career, and if you're looking for an international education, you also need to put on an international hat and have an international perspective. Sometimes that means that a master's degree is important. For example, from a budgetary perspective, right? If you want to do a 2-year program rather than a 3-year program, right? You're saving 33% on your fees, and then you'll get the opportunity to find a job and work for a couple of years. On the other hand, maybe you want to start early and do a bachelor's degree. Yes, it's 1 year extra that you're paying in international university fees, but you can then go straight into the workforce potentially, and you might save yourself a couple of years, because by the time you've graduated from your bachelor's degree, you get a couple of years of work experience. Maybe that's enough for you to continue getting further and further progression within your career. So there are a lot of things to consider, and I know that Manu probably wants me to give maybe you'd like to say postgrad's better or bachelor's is better. Really, you need to look at your own requirements, your own career objective, and your own budget, and that's how you can make a decision on that.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. This was an excellent explanation that you gave on whether you go for undergrad studies or postgraduate studies. You know how things in India work. Mostly we finish our undergrad degree and then we go to study abroad right away. We have to do this because it's very different in India than in abroad. And even when it comes to the admission processes, these countries are not happy if you have an education gap. So it is right after your education, after undergraduation, if you plan to go abroad, you should Not unlike other countries like Australia, the US or UK, you wait for 8, 10 years, 15 years and you do a formal education for master's degree. Because both the countries and the system of education is very different. They will prefer to recruit Indian students for education right after the studies in India. So that is one thing that I wanted to point out. If you are going for post-graduation, you should do it right after your undergraduation.